We have had a very long, slow winter here on the farm. Quite a few things have happened over the winter break. We welcomed a newborn into the family, so I enjoyed just a long time of taking it easy and soaking up the cozy winter days. But now it is spring and summer is quickly approaching, and all things are starting to pick up again on the farm. We just got our first batch of meat chickens to raise for this summer, and we are looking forward to picking up our pigs here in a couple weeks. And then we're just spending a lot of time here lately focusing on getting all of our pastures ready to set up for rotational grazing and getting the cattle out for the summer also. We order around 300 meat chicks at a time, and we put them in this makeshift brooder. So we turned an old stock trailer into a brooder for them where we can keep the temperature regulated. Their waters are all automatic. We can offer them some electrolytes, and just they spend their first few weeks in here where they can get acclimated to being on our farm before we take them out to pasture. We plan to do about 3 or 4 rounds of meat chickens every summer and into the fall as the weather permits. So I'm really excited to show you guys more about this process as soon as these baby chicks are big enough to be moved out to pasture. Something that we started doing about 3 years ago on our farm is rotationally grazing our cattle all spring, summer, and into the fall, sometimes even late into December, depending on how good of a year we've had as far as rainfall and the temperature for grass to regrow. We found that rotationally grazing is absolutely the best way to manage cattle for so many different reasons. And doing it for the past 3 years, we've learned ways to make this process a lot easier. So this winter, one of our biggest goals was to run a more permanent electric fence along woods, so that way we could more easily divide off our pastures by tying off on those already hot wires and then sectioning off pastures at a time. Because we like to move our cattle every 3 days, we have to keep our fencing system really easy and simple, so our cattle really respect just one string of hot wire. They won't even touch it. They know about it, and that's what allows us to be able to move them all around the farm in a rotational grazing system like this. So it was a lot of work the first couple years we did it, but now that we kind of done it a few times, we know where these permanent fences need to go. So this winter, that's what we worked a lot on, was setting up more permanent style fencing so that we can make our grazing this summer much easier. And now it is time to start turning the cattle out to start grazing. So I'm just going around and buttoning up all the places where I need to put in some gate gaps and just making sure it's all hot and ready for the cattle to be turned out for summer grazing. This year we planted a cover crop of rye, so our cattle have actually been out on a very big field of ryegrass for the past few weeks, but now it is time to get them turned out onto our actual pastures of cool season grasses, predominantly cool season grasses here in Missouri, like fescue and orchard grass. Those are the grasses that will grow all year long in our state, and that's what we have to work with. So we found that rotationally grazing them starting the beginning or mid-May is what's best for these pastures, so they get a chance to really start growing before we just turn the cattle out on them. And we also want to get them off of the ryegrass because we're doing something new this year, and we're going to plant a summer cover crop. And our hopes is that this cover crop will come up, and then during the summertime, like July and August and early September, when the cool season grasses really just aren't offering the cattle the best nutrients and they just need a time to really rest, we'll be able to pull the cattle off of our main pastures and put them out on cover crops late summer, so that way our cool season grasses can get a chance to really rest and then be ready again for fall grazing. So that's something new that we're trying this year, and it is time to get the cattle off the ryegrass so that these fields can have a little bit of rest as we plant the new seed, in hopes that it'll be ready for them come July and August. Now that we got most all of our fencing set up for the summer, we can just focus on moving our cows around every couple days, and then we move a mineral feeder with them to each paddock that they go to, so that way they have good mineral throughout the summer months. That's really important to keep pink eye away, is to just make sure that they have all of the vitamins and minerals that they need that they may not be getting from the grass. We also like to try to manage our cattle as naturally as possible, and we found that sometimes adding garlic into their mineral is just a really great way for natural fly repellent. So this is just something that we offer them as they graze around the farm all summer long. Moving the cattle in the summertime doesn't even feel like a chore to me. I love coming out here and calling them and seeing how excited they are to move on to the next pasture. This system is something that we have really built on in the last few years, something that we plan to continue to build on. It's really been working great for us and our herd and our land. So I'm just so excited to keep sharing more about what we're doing on the farm with you this summer.